What's up everybody, it's your boy PUBSKI here, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to use the Mastiff in Apex Legends. The first thing that you need to understand about the Mastiff is where your bullets are actually going when you shoot your weapon. So for example, say if I come over to this wall and I just shoot my Mastiff, right? You'll notice that all of my pellets are supposed to go in one straight line, right? There's no verticality to it. Therefore, when we're aiming at our targets, we want to aim at the spot where there's the most surface area horizontally. This way, we're able to output as much damage as possible with just one shot. Now, this concept ties into our crosshair placement and where exactly we should be aiming when we enter into a gunfight. So, say if we come around here, turn the corner, pull up, we spot an enemy, right? As soon as we see him, we should try our best to line up our shot where there's the most horizontal surface area. So for this dummy, rather than aiming at his legs, right, I would want to aim at his shoulders because his shoulders have the most horizontal surface area. Now, if you take a look at this picture, we can clearly see the hitboxes for all the legends in the game and where it would be best for us to aim at them during a gunfight. So say for instance, if you look at Revenant, right, his shoulder to shoulder hitbox is a lot bigger than the hitbox for his hips. You could even say the same thing about Wraith, right? Like her hitbox from her shoulder to shoulder is a lot bigger than her stomach/hips hitbox. However, this doesn't necessarily apply to all legends, as if we take a look at, say, Lifeline, right? Her hitbox from her shoulder to shoulder is more or less the same as the hitbox from her hip to hip. It's not a huge noticeable difference such as Wraiths or Revenants. Now, I would say it's just best for you to practice shooting at the shoulders for any kind of legend, just because that way the more you practice it, the more positive muscle memory you will end up building, and in return it'll just be your best bet so that whenever you run into a new gunfight, it doesn't matter what legend you are, you're just going to essentially aim from the shoulder to shoulder rather than trying to enter the fight, recognize what type of legend you're playing against, and then trying to aim according to that. Another quick tip when using the Mastiff is simply just zooming in to choke the spread of the pellets. Just zooming in is a really easy way for you to do more damage by not doing anything at all. So if we take a look right here, right, I'm here with the dummy, my shot is lined up. If I hip fire him, I do 39 damage. And without even moving my crosshair, without even moving forward, the only difference is I'm going to zoom in now and I just do 65 damage, right? I'll show you again, right? I hit fire, 39, zoom in, and I do 65. There you can see just a clear difference of how zooming in can just lead to more damage, right? Ensuring that you'll hit more than just a 14, right? Assuming that your shot is lined up the way it should be. Now we'll be going over how you should be positioning yourself when you actually use the Mastiff. Now the best way to use the Mastiff is to jiggle peek. And jiggle peeking is simply just shooting at your target, going behind cover while your weapon is either rechambering or reloading, and then peeking out when you're ready to shoot again. The reason why we do this is because one of the Mastiff's biggest weakness is the fact that it takes a couple of seconds in between each shot before I can start shooting again. Meaning if we're not playing behind cover, right, and I'm just shooting at this dummy right here, in between each shot, this dummy is able to get free damage off on me. However, if we end up playing behind cover, we eliminate that free damage that this dummy is able to do. Therefore, we end up turning the tides and we create a more favorable situation for ourselves. So just note that whenever you are using the Mastiff, you have to be conscious of everything you can jiggle peek off of. So for instance, I can jiggle peek off of this wall, I can come over here, I can jiggle peek off of this gun rack, or I can come over here and I can use this rock to sort of help jiggle peek. So just note that whenever you use the Mastiff, you have to be conscious of anything that you can jiggle peek off of. And anything that you more or less can use to break the line of sight off of the enemy is something that you can jiggle peek off of. And just note that if you're not jiggle peeking with the Mastiff, then you're not really using it to its fullest potential. All right, so here is an example of me actually jiggle peeking mid-game, right? So my loadout, I have a Spitfire, I have a Mastiff, my teammate goes down right here, so I bubble forward, right, in case any of them decide to push up, and then I instantly pull out my Mastiff. Now that I have my Mastiff out, one thing, like I said, is you always want to utilize jiggle peeking. So what can I sort of jiggle peek off of? The biggest thing is I can jiggle peek off of my bubble right here. If I wanted to push forward, maybe I can play off this crate and just jiggle peek in and out from this side, shooting them as well. So I come up right now, I'm just scanning for any enemies that are in the area, since they just knocked my teammate while he's crawling back. Right now I have someone pull up right here. Right, here's the caustic, and I have my cover, right? So I know where my enemy is, and I know what I'm gonna jiggle peek off of, being my bubble right here. So I'm gonna go up, I'm gonna shoot him, and I'm instantly gonna go back into cover. So if this caustic right here has a fully automatic weapon, most of the bullets that he's shooting at is just gonna hit the bubble. So I'll peek out, I'll do my 66 damage, and his fully automatic weapon will just be shooting the bubble where I'm nice and safe. So I just got a free 66 damage off, and in return, he's given me 0 damage. And as you can even see, he actually did start shooting at me. So I do 66, you can see his weapon firing right here, and you can even see the bullets hitting the bubble as well. So in that quick second, I'm able to dish out 66 damage, and now that I've jiggled peek, now I've sort of blocked his line of sight off of me, and now I'm safe. So I got a free 66 damage off. I go out again, I peek, I do another 44, and I instantly go back into cover, extra 44 damage, and I took 0 damage. So I just did over 100 damage to this caustic, right? I just did 100 damage, 100 plus, and in return, right, he did 0 damage to me. Then I go out one more time and I knock him, right? So I literally just jiggle peek off of that caustic 3 times, and in return, he did 0 damage to me. Now that I'm done killing him, now I have these 2 people to worry about. So I also want to continuously apply the pressure. So I'll go out, I'll shoot, and then I'll come back in. I go out, I hit him for 52, but now I sort of got team fired by both of them. So I did 52 damage to them, and they did about, you know, like 60 plus damage. So this isn't necessarily a good trade for me, but at least nonetheless, I'm still able to trade off a fair amount of damage. Right, again, miss my shot. Now I'm reloading because I have about 1 bullet. My Wraith goes down, I throw a thermite. Now I stick this res knowing damn well that I'm not able to get this off in time, but I'm just sticking this res so I can really bait them in to push me, so I'm able to play in this close quarter scenario and really utilize my Mastiff, right? Because if these guys sort of stay like back here on this railing, this Mastiff isn't going to be good at that range. So I'm right now baiting them in just to come in a little bit closer to me. Alright, so right now, right, Wraith just opened up the door, so I instantly stop rezzing, and now I'm sort of in this ideal scenario that I want. I didn't want to fight the Wraith over here because this would be a horrible range for my Mastiff, and I don't really want to use my Spitfire at this time, because I just know my Mastiff will be able to output a lot more damage in a shorter amount of time. So I've baited the Wraith by coming in closer, and now that she's right in front of me, I have to think about things that I can jiggle peek off of. So I sort of have 3 options here. I can shoot the Wraith right here and close this door, or I can shoot the Wraith and strafe left and hopefully block line of sight, or I can strafe to the right and use this wall to block line of sight. So either using the right wall or the left wall or just closing these doors are all options that I can use in order to jiggle peek off of this Wraith. So I shoot, I do a free 84 damage, I strafe over to the right. So she pushes through, I hit her for 84 damage, I strafe to the right hand side so I can play that wall off of cover, and then once I'm ready, once my gun is done rechambering, then I can peek out left again, shoot her one more time, and then knock her without taking any significant amount of damage at all. Now I'm going to read that the Bloodhound is going to come over here, right? Because that's, you know, before, if you look at the situation, all right, both of these people we're like basically holding hands, right? So if the Bloodhound wasn't with the Wraith right here, that means he's probably, you know, swinging around the other side to get an angle, which is sort of how I know he's there. So Jiggle peek off this Wraith, and I instantly go over to this door. And Lord and behold, there he is. So I shoot him as he's sliding into my face. I hit him for 84. And now I'm using the doors as cover to sort of Jiggle peek off of. So I instantly close the door. I do 80 damage, and he shoots one shot at the door. And so if these doors were open like they were before, that bullet would have just came and hit my huge hitbox as the Gibby I am. So I do a free 80 damage on him. My weapon is ready to shoot again, so now I can play aggressive. I'll open up the doors on him. I'll shoot one more time. I do 26. Now I'm going to run back because I'm sort of through this doorway, right? If I close, I'm just going to lock myself out, and I have to reload my Mastiff. So rather than sort of doing that, I'm going to swap my weapons to my Spitfire since I know he's on flesh. I swap my weapons in a safe spot, and then I just slide out and play aggressive on him. Playing everything in full speed. Right, I bubble forward, I look for the closest person. I'm able to knock this Caustic for free. Free damage, he's shooting at my bubble. 0 to death him. Do some trades here. Now I have to reload my Mastiff because I'm low on ammo. Bait the res, so they come a little closer. Jiggle peek off the right side. Knock that Wraith for free. Use the doors to Jiggle peek. Now I have to reload, but I can just push up and sort of wipe them. So that wraps up our Mastiff tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys were able to at least take a quick tip or two from it. I'll continue making more of these types of tutorials where we go over more weapons as well as some advanced Apex concepts. So stay tuned and have a wonderful day. PUBSKI out.